Today, we're going to be reading The Lady and the Spider, and it's by Faith McNulty, and it's illustrated by Bob Marstall. One summer day, in a lady's garden, a spider stood on a lettuce leaf. She looked about and saw hills of green and valleys of green. Between two leaves, she saw a green cave. Walking daintily on her 8 legs, she went inside. Up with the tips of her long legs, she felt the sides and the ceiling and the floor. The cave suited her. It was a leafy den, just the right size to be her home. When night came, dew formed on the leaves. Drops of water trickled into a hollow beside the spider's den. They made a tiny pool. The moon rose. Moths waked and flew dizzily around the garden in search of other moths. One saw moonlight shine in the pool. It flew to the water, and its wings became wet. Unable to fly, it drowned. In the morning, when the sun rose, the spider looked into the pool and saw the moth. She walked to the water's edge and had breakfast. Each day, the lady came to tend the garden. She planted seeds and pulled up weeds and sprinkled water. She looked among the leaves for bugs. She did not want bugs to eat her garden. Once she saw the spider walking on a leaf but paid no heed. She knew spiders do not eat lettuce. The lady's footsteps shook the ground and the spider ran and hid. One day, the lady's dress brushed the leaves around the spider's home. The spider felt an earthquake, but the lady did not know what she had done. For many days the garden grew. The lettuce leaves grew bigger too. Each day the spider walked on the leaves searching for food. At noonday, when the sun was high, small flies, the kind with the golden eyes, sat quietly on the leaves to warm their wings and rub their hands together. They were the spider's lunch. Birds also dined in the lady's garden. They perched on the fence and looked about sharply, peering here and there, searching for bugs. One day, while the spider was having lunch, she was eating a large blue fly. A spider swooped down. Just in time, the spider saw its swift, dark shadow. It leaped into the den and the bird flew over the sky. As days grew hot, the lady knew it was time to pick the lettuce. Each day she came to the garden with a basket and a knife, cut off a head of lettuce for her lunch. Each day the lettuce that she picked was closer to the head of lettuce in which the spider lived. One day when the sun came up and warmed the walls of her den, the spider went out and walked around a green hill to her sparkling pond to see what might be there for breakfast. Just at that moment the lady came into the garden. She bent down, grasped the head of lettuce in which the spider lived, and cut it off at the roots. She shook off the dewdrops and put the lettuce with the spider hidden among its leaves in her basket. Of course, the lady had no idea the spider was there. As the leaf beneath her shook, the spider dashed towards her den. Her den was gone. The lady's thumb had crushed it. The spider clung to the leaf, while the whole green world trembled and shook around her. The lady carried the head of lettuce to the kitchen and laid it on the counter beside the sink. When her world became still, the spider stood up and walked about among the leaves. She tried to see with her 8 eyes. She tried to feel with the tips of her legs. She tried to think with her tiny brain, but it was no use. The spider did not know that she had made her home in the head of lettuce in a lady's garden, and that the lady intended to eat the lettuce for lunch. The lady bent over the sink. She picked up the lettuce. She parted the leaves to look for bugs. She did not see the spider crouched deep in a dark cranny, hidden between 2 leaves. The lady put the lettuce into the sink. She put in the stopper and turned on the water. It poured clear and cold over the leaves. Huge drops of water splashed around the spider. She was caught in an icy river. She lost her grip and she spun into the stream and was carried down and then pushed back up and down again by the surging water. The lady turned off the faucet. The water in the sink became calm. The head of lettuce floated, rocking in the tiny waves. Part of it was underwater and part above. The spider struggled upward to the surface. Her front legs found the edge of a leaf. She was heavy with water. With all of her strength, she pulled herself onto the leafy island. The leaf was cold. It was wet. The spider walked about, waving her long front legs, searching for a dark, safe place to hide. The lady looked down, and the tiny motion caught her eyes. A small spider adrift on a raft of lettuce, trying to escape. The lady picked up her leaf, with the spider clinging to it, and opened the lid to the garbage pail. Just before the leaf dropped in from her fingers, a thought crossed her mind. She looked again at the spider searching for a place to hide, waving her legs. She waved and waved and waved. Looking closely, the lady saw things she had never noticed before. She saw how the spider's color matched the leaves. She saw the tiny dots that were her eyes. She noticed how delicately she moved her slender legs, and how she waved and waved and waved. The lady thought, Isn't it wonderful that a creature so small can live and love life, find food, and make a home just like me? The lady closed the lid of the garbage pail, holding the leaf carefully. With the spider on board, she went into the garden. She bent over a head of lettuce and gently dropped the spider into its leaves. "Good luck in your new home," said the lady as she walked back to the kitchen for lunch. The spider landed lightly in a sun-warmed, sweet-smelling valley. She sat still until she was warm and dry. Then she walked up a green hill and down a green hill, searching with the tips of her long front legs. Soon she found a nook that was just the right size. There she waited, safe and snug, waited for lunch, for the sun to set and for the moon to rise, for her tiny, very important life to go on. Wasn't that a sweet book? So, I need you to you're going to go to Seesaw, and you're going to click the beginning, middle, and end retelling assignment, and you are going to make a video. What did I say? Make a video of you retelling the story. Now remember, you've got to find the setting and the character, the big problem, and how the problem gets solved. Okay? So, you can practice before you record with your mom. Are you ready? Can't wait to see what you come up with. Bye, guys.